This is about half of the devices that I own that need firmware updates. It's the cameras and lenses and mics, my drone, and other small things like that. And this is a video of me sitting down and checking if there were firmware updates for every single one of them. I'll speed it up because it took me 38 minutes to do. But let me save you the suspense. Only 6 of those 27 devices actually needed an update when I checked. And this is a waste of people's time. And it's why a friend and I built something to solve this problem for everybody. I think most people don't think about firmware updates. And I think they should, because camera manufacturers release all sorts of new features through a firmware update. I'll give you some examples. Sony added breathing compensation to the A7R5. Fuji added an entire suite of film simulation to the X-T5. Canon fixed an overheating problem with the R5, and Sigma and Tamron lenses are constantly getting autofocus improvements. Who doesn't want autofocus improvements? Also, you can kind of get locked out. I once took my drone to film a video, get a nice sunrise shot, and took the drone out, connected it to my phone, and what did it say? You require a firmware update in order to fly this drone. So I decided I would do that. It took way too long, and I missed the shot, and I wasn't able to skip it. I had to do it. And I think, doing one firmware update is fairly benign, right? It's like, maybe it's go to a website, maybe it's open up an app, connect the device, see if there's an update for it. Sure, no problem. But when you have dozens of devices, that couple of minutes turns into a huge amount of time. And you sort of have to batch them. You sort of have to sit down, like I'm doing here, and do all of them at once. And when you need to spend a ton of time doing something that may not have any value because only some of those devices are going to have firmware updates and you're just going to have to check some other time, it becomes annoying and you just stop doing it, and then you miss out on some of the best features. Actually, one of my most popular videos is about a firmware update for the Sony a7 IV that released a whole new suite of features. How are you supposed to find out about those? Okay, so this is where I start to get excited. A friend of mine and I built a tool to just tell you if you need firmware updates. And then you don't have to spend a ton of time checking for something that's not there. You can just go update what needs updating. Originally, I was going to solve this problem for myself, but this is the kind of problem that, like, when you solve it for you, you've also solved it for basically everybody else. Okay, well, here it is, latest update. So all you got to do, go create yourself an account, and you'll get hit with a little bit of instructions, but I'm going to start adding some devices. So I have a Sony a7 IV, so I'll add that. I have a Tamron 52-400 Sony, again, add that. I've got a Sony 20-70 millimeter, there's that one. I've got a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to add also my main vlogging camera, my DJI Pocket 3. And basically, as you can see, you just add what you have. Now, I'm a Sony and DJI user, but I knew that everybody else needed to get included in here, so I added a whole bunch of things. I've got all the Canon cameras and lenses. I've got a bunch of DJI products, Fuji and Hasselblad and Leica and Nikon, and I even added OM system for the people who want that, Panasonic, bunch of third-party Sigma and Tamron lenses, and a smattering of all sorts of other different products. We have more than 1,000 things in here, and we're going to be adding more and more as we go. So once you set these things up, maybe add a dozen or so devices, that's all you need to do there. But when you come back the next time, that's where the magic happens. Okay, so for this demo, I have faked a new version of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And while it's only showing one update, if all of these had updates, they would all just show as something that you need to update. So now, rather than needing to check my Sony camera and these couple of lenses to see if there's updates, I just know the Pocket 3 has an update. I can just go do that one. Once I'm done, I say, great, I've updated that. And I move on with my life. No 38 minutes spent. As I mentioned before, we've got a little feature where if you just don't see something tracked, go ahead and add that in here and we will take a look at it and try to add a tracker for it. You can also get there just if you're searching for something and you say, oh, my Tamron lens isn't in there, right at the bottom, you can chuck in whatever you want there. And there are a couple of nice personal features. You know, you've got light and dark mode. You've got the ability to like change the colors that you want for the main sort of UX. Just a couple of quality of life features. Okay, well, that's latest update. I'm offering this tool for free. Basically, right now we're tracking more than 1,000 products against a bunch of different brands. We've also, depending on when you see this video, we've also got a feature that allows you to just drop in a suggestion of products that you would want to have us track firmware, and we're gonna do them. That's the plan. In the future, we're gonna have a little bit of a feedback thing. So if you just don't like how it works or you want a different way, let us know and we'll take a look. And it's going to be ad supported, so there'll be no reason to have a subscription or, you know, to charge money for this type of thing. Just go in, add your devices, check in periodically, and you'll save some time. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you use it. Bye for now.